Hi, Harrison here. I love history and games, so why not combine them both? This is my first video, proper video. I have like a little kind of channel explanation and welcome to the channel video. So this is going to be my first video. If you hear some cluttering in the background, it's my two kittens running around. So sorry about that. So this video is going to be about, as you can see in the title, what to expect for Gallipoli and some of my personal expectations and hopes that will be in the game. So as a console player, I do not have a PC. I did have a PC once. It's well out of date now, but I can't afford one at the moment, especially with this RAM shortage going on. So I'm on my PS5, which is fine. So my hopes for Gallipoli are that they're going to fix a lot of the issues that Sonzo had, which is the current game that you're seeing in the background for console, is that the stability was really bad, screen tearing, I think I mentioned that in my video before. Out of the three WW1 Game Series games, Verdun, Tannenberg and Sonzo, this one is definitely, from my experience, the worst when it comes to the screen tearing issues. It doesn't really happen much on Verdun and Tannenberg, but on this game it seems to happen quite a lot. So screen tearing, stability, so the frames, I don't know the definition of stability, obviously, but internet connection and stuff like that wise, that's fine. Frames are definitely something that need to improve. On a Sonzo, for a PS5, for a PS5 game, really the expectation for the minimal amount of frames you should be getting on a game that's coming out is 60 frames. Now, I can completely understand that this basically is an indie game. The company aren't that big. They're getting bigger and bigger, which is great. But there needs to be some kind of standard set when it comes to the frames of this game, because the gameplay you're watching right now isn't that bad. But I'll try popping in like an example of the screen tearing or something. If I can't find it, then I'll talk about it in future. But it can be bad. Like you'll have screen tearing, and then you'll be playing at like 30 frames. So you have some settings in the game that are like quality mode, performance mode, ultra performance, and stuff like that. You'll see it on screen again, but this doesn't really affect anything. It's either have the game look like arse and have shit frames, or have the game look decent and have shit frames, from my experience. So I just play in quality mode. I do not see a difference other than the look of the game. So that's something that I'm really hoping that they have already got sorted with Gallipoli, because again, the standards of a PS5 game / PS5 Pro, as there will be, I don't know if they'll be doing a separate version, you should be able to play the game, and it look good enough. So 60 hertz, 60 frames, sorry, should be the standard for the game. So another thing that I really want to see in Gallipoli is maybe a change to the movement, because and what I mean by that is basically the entire movement, like, it hasn't really changed. I love the movement of Verdun, Tannenberg and Sonzo. I love it all, don't get me wrong, but if they're gonna be making these new games, I feel like it needs to be improved quite a lot, because it is clunky. You get stuck on lots of things. Obviously, Sonzo is the best of them all, but you still have like the classic Verdun moments where you jump and you're getting stuck mid-air, and it's just very glitchy overall. So that's another thing that I'm hoping is going to be improved on the movement system and stuff like that, just to give it a more overall smoother performance. So another thing is the gunplay. The gunplay in all of these games have been brilliant. They've always brung that, authentic World War One feeling of, the bolt action rifles, the heavy machine guns, and as you see in the clip here, I'm using some kind of carbine. I believe this gun in real life is full auto, but to balance it, they're putting it as semi. I might be wrong though. So the gunplay in these games are brilliant in my opinion. However, some guns definitely need some kind of, like, classes wise is what I mean, is I find myself only really using the assault class on a Sonzo because that's all that I think most people try to just jump in and use, because you have the better weapons on there, you have the grenades and all that kind of stuff. The other classes have never really appealed to me that much. Like, you have your engineer, you have your recon and stuff like that, but they've never really appealed to me. I feel like the assault is the best class just for trench warfare, just jumping. Obviously, it's on the mountains and shit. Um, but I just feel like the assault class is like above all of the others. So I'm hoping, I don't know what, if they use the same system, I won't be mad, but I'm hoping there'll be some kind of tweaks to that, even if there's just less classes, because I feel like there's too many. Because um, I believe there's like assault, engineer, recon. I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm just hoping that they kind of either do less but make it more in a way, if you know what I mean, and not add any more classes, because again, like, the assault class is probably the most played in the entire game, and they must have, picked up these analytics or something. So I'm hoping they've balanced that out a little bit more, not just made one class OP compared to the others. Obviously, you got the rifleman class as well, I just remembered. So, yeah. So another thing that I really hope they keep up is the whole aesthetic of, World War One. That's the main thing that these games have carried in being such an authentic and kind of feeling of a World War One trench warfare, whether it's in fields or in the mountains and stuff like that. You can walk around these trenches on Verdun, you can walk around on Tannenberg, and there's life, like these trenches and these mountain parts and these like caves. They all feel like people have been in there. There's items, there's letters on tables and stuff. There's maps, there's hats, there's uniforms. All of this like aesthetic stuff just brings the maps to life, and I love that attention to detail so much. So I'm really hoping that's something that they stick to, and they, really make it feel like a proper, authentic World War One experience again. Another thing I'm quite interested for and excited for is the new game mode. Um, Personally, my favourite game mode out of all of the games is probably the Frontlines one, as you're seeing on screen right now, where it's just a classic trench warfare. You don't really get shot in the back unless you're in the trench. It's just all forwards and backwards. There's not like much walking around. That's one thing I felt that Tannenberg kind of didn't feel great on, because you could basically, it's kind of like Conquest on Battlefield. You could just kind of roam around and you'd have a lot of people just kind of climbing up a tree somewhere and just being a thorn in the arse, just stuck up a tree somewhere shooting everyone in the back. And it was just kind of it was a great game, but I don't think the game mode worked great personally. That's just my opinion on it. So I am interested to see this new game mode, and I would love them to kind of bring back different game modes like this one. Obviously, as Sonzo, you have like I really like a Sonzo's mode where you plant the bombs, take the ejectors and stuff. But that again has the kind of thing of you can just roam around and do shit. But it's not as bad as Tannenberg. But this is just a personal preference, really, for me. I'd love to see some of these older game modes come back. Another Verdun remaster would be fucking good as well. I'd like that. Holy shit, imagine they done that. Just like redone Verdun, but in all of the current gunplay and walking system. Or even just bring some of the maps back, that would be cool. It doesn't make sense because they're a World War One game series and their games are meant to focus on the history of that game. So it wouldn't make sense putting, like this map park here, which I believe is called Artoy, but putting that in, where it didn't even happen in, you know what I mean. But it would be cool. If they like merged all the games in one or something, that'd be sick. But anyway, so yeah, that's about it. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and stuff in the comments. I'll be doing a more like in-depth video soon, going through all the info that we know about the game, and just getting some more stuff out, trying to hype it up. It's probably not going to release until like the end of this year, is my like guess, because they normally release games like September, so which is kind of a bummer. It's a long wait, but it'll go quick. So yeah, but I'm going to be covering everything up until then, trying my best, trying to get videos out. So if you've watched this far, I really appreciate it. And if you subscribe, I could really appreciate that as well, because I want to grow this channel and grow the community. And I'd love to hear your guys' comments and stuff about this. And yeah, if you've got this far in the video, I'd like to say I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to listen to me. If you haven't got bored yet, I'm very surprised, and I'd like to thank you. If you subscribe, I would really appreciate that. I'd love to make some kind of community out of this and make more friends that play these games, because I don't really have any friends who play these kind of games like I do, so it would be nice to meet some new people, play these kind of games. My dream is to hopefully have a PC that I can eventually get and build myself. I do, like I said at the start of the video, I have had a PC. I did build myself a PC like 6-7 years ago, but that is long gone, and I'd love to get back into it. So yeah, that's the aim, to get to 1,000 subscribers in a year, get myself a PC, build myself one, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know your thoughts, and if there's anything I can do to make these videos better. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.